In this video, I'm going to show how we can open up our options for question types in Inspera by incorporating different stimuli. In this video, we're going to look at images. Our motivations for doing this aren't purely aesthetic. Take this question, for example. The students need to match a name with the character, an image here. It's an interactive question, but one thing that students might not find easy when they're doing this is that they have to scroll down to the bottom to see the last character and then scroll back up to the top to see the names. I'm using a rather large screen size and students are more likely to be doing this on a small device. So you can imagine that this might not be as user-friendly on a small device as what it is for us when we're designing these questions on our large screens. This question type in Inspera is called a matching or pairing activity. We're going to redesign this question by using a graphic gap match activity. So that's this question type here. Now, what I've done here actually is upload one picture, okay, of a bedroom, and the students need to match the word with the correct furniture item in the bedroom. But for our question that we're going to redesign, we actually have 4 images. So Inspera doesn't allow us to combine these 4 images in a different way. Here they're uploaded individually, but we need another platform to help us combine this into one engaging image so that we can make a different question type. So, doesn't seem so hard. A lot of us have been doing this for a long time, and we have our go-to products that we would use. So maybe some Microsoft products like Word or PowerPoint. They're perfectly good products and they will get the job done, but there are other platforms available that might make this a bit more easy and also end up with a better result at the end. Microsoft products are more word processing and for presentations. They're not really designed for making these engaging images that we might be after for this sort of question. So the platform that we're going to use is called Adobe Spark. There are a number of things that I like about Adobe Spark. One thing that is very important for us is that it's UQ supported. So we have free access to it and it actually is a very powerful tool. The second thing is that it's quite user-friendly. Now, user-friendliness is subjective, but it's really designed for people who want to make quick, engaging, visual social media posts. So if you can imagine what sort of people will be doing that, it's not really people who are going to go in depth, editing photos, doing any crazy sorts of editing. So it's really quite a stripped down version of other Adobe products. The thing I really like about it is that you have a lot of preset functions and templates that are free. This cuts a lot of time for us so that we don't have to be creating all these sorts of things exactly from scratch. Lastly, Adobe makes a lot of their own training videos, and these are really popular products that a lot of people use, so you can find all sorts of training videos on YouTube as well. So there's a lot of free help available. So the type of image that we're going to create in Adobe Spark today is a photo collage. So this is where we can combine multiple different graphics into one image. Now we can choose free stock photos, but in this case, I have my own images. So I'm going to click upload. And you can see that I have them here, and I have to add them one by one. Okay, once you have all your images selected, click next. Now we need to select the size. The thing that we need to remember here is that Inspera images for these backgrounds actually specifies the dimensions. In this case, the width that Inspera presets to is 800 pixels. I'm going to click custom so that we can define our own pixel range. So 800 for the width, and I'm going to put 400, which is about, is half of that for the height. Once we chose this photo collage template, the program has automatically put our images into a way that it thinks fits these images best. Now, this is according to the quality and the pixel size of the original images. So you may want to adjust these, but keep in mind that it may distort the image or it may end up looking a bit less clear if you make it a lot larger than what it can, what the pixel size means it can be. Now, these images are taken from stills of an old film, so our image quality maybe isn't going to be as good as it would be if we were using stock photos or photos taken in more contemporary times. To move these around, we can simply click on the image and we can see here we've got these little circles on the side, and we can drag these, and that's going to make our images in the middle a bit bigger. Now, over here, we have this image where there's a boy sitting with a young man. Interested in for this photo is the boy, and we don't really want to see the young man too much. So we can actually zoom in on this image. If you go to this side panel here, at the top it has edit image, and here we have an option for size. So we can drag this up and zoom in on the boy and drag it so that he fits more in the center of the frame. So this way you can take your images directly from Google or wherever you've sourced them from, and you can also edit them once you're in Adobe Spark. So you don't have to be going over to Paint, cropping an image, and then bringing it into a different platform. So let's say we want to drag this over so that we can see the boy a bit easier. And I'm going to leave these two images in the middle a bit smaller because we don't want them to be too distorted and look too stretched in the final image. However, if we did want to move our images around, we could simply grab so that you have this cross icon coming up, hold down and click and pull it across to the next space, and that swapped them over. Now you can see here what I was talking about is that this image, it becomes too big and it looks a lot blurrier, and we don't really have a very clear picture of this man. So I'm going to undo that and put him back. Right. But we could, for example, these two images are the same size. We could do the same and change the location of those two. The other option that we have is to change the size of the image that we've created. So remember here we did one that's 800 pixels in width and 400 pixels in height. So if we want to resize that, let's say you had smaller images, it wasn't filling up the whole space, we can go back to resize here. We chose custom, so we can go to custom, and then here you can change your sizes. Now I have the image that I'm happy with. I can download the image. So remember up in the left-hand corner to name your project as well. Otherwise it will just stay with a generic name. So name your project so that it's easier to find later. So first, to take the picture and to save it, we go to download, and you can choose the type of file that you would like. So normally for these things that are going onto web platforms like Inspera, I would use PNG. As it says here, it gives you a little hint, best for graphics, higher quality. And if we go down to JPEG, it says best for photos, small file size. So because we're saving this image with multiple images in it, I want it to be the best quality on the web as what we can see. So I'm going to use PNG. Okay, that will then bring it up into your desktop or OneDrive, and you can save it as you need to. Okay, so I've got my title here, PNG image, in a folder where it's nice and easy to find. So I'll save that. So now my image is downloading. I'm going to go back to Inspera. So this was our original question. Here it is in our preview mode. Now we're going to make it a graphic gap match question. So the first thing that we need to do here is click on our image space. So remember that in Inspera you have the menu on the side here, which changes depending on where you're clicking in your question space. So if we're clicking where the text is, we're getting these general settings. So in this case, I want 1 mark for getting all 4 names correct. So I've set my marks. We also want to give it a label. And I think that's all that we need to do for here, unless we want to add some feedback as well. And you could add a main illustration, but in this case, I don't think that's necessary for this question. So let's build our question. We click on this area, it changes our menu on the side here, and we want to add the background. So we go to background and upload image. So now we go to find our image that we created. I've got it here, and open. Okay, so now our image is here in our question. The next thing we need to do is move these tokens to each image. So this is where the students are going to drag their answers. Now, do keep in mind the placement, because these are going to appear as white bubbles on the image. So we don't want them to be distorting the faces too much so that the students can see the face to identify the character. Now here I've only got 3, which is the automatic setting for Inspera. I want to insert another one. So I go up to here to insert, and it gives me another gap that I can put down here. Okay, then we add our correct answers directly here. So token 1, add your correct answers. Now, one issue that I can see here is that I need to add an apostrophe, which isn't actually working in this gap function here. It's not supporting that text. So I'm going to leave it out. And I'm very sorry to the French language that I can't put that in there. Okay, so now we've set up our correct answers. Let's preview this. So this is what it's going to look like from the student's perspective. Now you can see that these bubbles here are on the image. If you, for your purposes, you feel like that you might want them outside of the image, you can do that as well. But remember, you'll have to alter the way that you set up your image in Spark. So maybe leaving some more white space on the image. This is what it will look like from the student's perspective. So they'll click on the name and then they'll drag it to the character. So this video, I've shown you how to combine 4 images using Adobe Spark in a way that looks visually engaging. It's quite simple using this photo collage function, and then easy to then upload into Inspera. So now we have our original question here and our second option that we've just created. I hope you found this video useful, and look out for more Inspera tutorial videos for languages and cultures. Thank you.